Hello, I'm Daniel Manage, Area Sales Manager for NTN UK. Today I'm going to give you a brief introduction to the NTN Tapered Roller Bearing range. This is very wide in size and series and will cover your needs in both metric and imperial dimensions. Let's start by recalling what a tapered roller bearing is and how it works. The tapered roller bearing is made up of two separate elements: the mounted cone, which is the assembly of an inner ring, and the tapered rollers, which are held in a cage made usually of steel. If this mounted cone is assembled in a cup, the result is a tapered roller bearing. What are the advantages of tapered roller bearings? It is a line contact bearing, so it has a very high load capacity and offers high rigidity to ensure precise guidance. It is a bearing in which the tapered rollers are guided by the path of the cup, having an opening angle and by a shoulder. Tapered roller bearings can therefore take up the axial and radial combined loads. The greater this opening angle, the more the bearing will withstand and the significant axial loads. The downside of this contact angle is that these bearings have to be mounted in pairs, as any purely radial load will result in an axial reaction, so a second bearing is needed to take the axial loads. The setup of the operating axial clearance is done through this pair of bearings. Finally, it is a separable bearing, so the cup and cone are easily mounted separately. The mounted cones and cups are manufactured to be interchangeable, ensuring optimum performance regardless of the assembly produced during mounting. NTN has an extensive range of metric tapered roller bearings. This range comprises 10 main dimensional series, defined according to the conventional designation of 30000. In order of increasing size and cross-section, this ranges from 329 to 323. Note that the 303D series with large contact angle is equivalent to the European 313 series. The bearings are identical. There is only a difference in designation between European and Japan. Two other series, the 322 and 323, have a variant with an increased contact angle. The 322C and 323C, to which can be added bearings designated as T7FC, which are not defined according to the conventional 3000 series, but according to a slightly more recent ISO 365 standard. All of these series having angles between 20 and 30 degrees. Note that the suffix C in Japan is equivalent to the suffix B in Europe. These four series with increased angles are found in applications with high axial loads. These are the bearings typically used on angle gears to support a bevel gear or used in hydraulic pumps and motors. NTN uses two steel technologies for its main metric range: case hardened and through hardened steel. This metric range covers a wide dimensional range starting at 15mm bore and can be manufactured up to 850mm. Finally, in Europe, the single row metric range is available in more than 380 bearings. The part numbers are available via the NTN website. NTN continuously improves its products and has started to convert its large metric tapered roller bearings with an outer diameter greater than 270mm into the Voltage label. The Voltage label applied to a tapered roller bearing means 30% higher dynamic load capacity through the adoption of high performance roller profiles that allows a better load distribution on the raceways and greatly reduces the harmful effects of edge stresses. This results in a threefold increase in service life. Voltage is also an optimization of the point of contact between the large face of the rollers and the large rib of the inner ring, as well as better high surface condition for less torque and heating, which made it possible to increase the rotation speed by 10%. And finally, voltage tapered roller bearings are using through hardened steel with a special heat treatment to drastically limit the deformation of the bearing rings over time. It is 10 times less deformation than for a through hardened steel with a standard heat treatment, and 4 times less than a case hardened steel. This special heat treatment will ensure a constant performance over time. NTN's range of tapered roller bearings in inch sizes follows the American ABMA standard. As you can see, this standard defines the designation of the mounted cones and cups in a fairly precise manner. It indicates a duty class, the contact angle, a serial number, and component identification. The standard therefore allows for a large number of possible references. By convention, the designation of a complete bearing gives the reference of the mounted cone first, then the reference of the cup. NTN adds the prefix 4T to these references, as this standard inch range has historically been produced entirely in case hardened steel. There are also suffixes to designate tolerances, but also in case of deviation from the standard. References without a duty class are from an older version of the standard. These numerous references are still used today. J-series bearings have their main dimensions in metric dimensions. As mentioned above, the ABMA designation system allows for a wide range of inch sizes. For NTN in Europe, there are more than 270 series included in the list, which includes approximately 1,520 different references. One special feature of the inch series is that the mounted cones and cups can be supplied as separate elements, thus multiplying the possible combinations of assemblies. If the required bearing is not available as a set, you may obtain it as a separate component for the same level of performance after assembly. As already mentioned, this range is historically produced entirely in case hardened steel. Finally, the dimension series coverage of the NTN range is very wide in terms of bore diameter, as the range starts at 12.7 mm and could be produced up to 270 mm. A technical remark concerning the tolerances applied to this inch range compared to the metric range. The inch diameters of bearings have their tolerances defined in 0 plus, whereas the bearings in metric dimensions have their diameter tolerance in 0 minus. This difference in tolerance must be taken into account when defining associated shaft diameter to avoid any problems of excessive or insufficient tight fit. NTN tapered roller bearings use 2 steel technologies as standard. Case hardened steel, which is treated to obtain a surface hardening and allows the core to remain softer and therefore more resilient, is applied to the rollers and both rings and is identified by the prefix 4T. The entire inch range is case hardened, as approximately 35% of the metric range for the smaller ones. The rest of the metric range is made through hardened steel. While both steel technologies offer similar service life, case hardened steel offers good wear resistance, better resistance to cracking under tight fit, and better impact resistance due to its resilient core. So to summarise, the advantages of the NTN Tapered Roller Bearings are a complete range in metric and inch sizes to meet all market needs. If the metric range covers most of the needs, the inch range is the best alternative to the market leader. The NTN offer in Europe is more than 1900 references. Knowing that the NTN group produces many more references, which are of course available on request if necessary. It is a range which a premium design produced by a premium manufacturer, which will bring you technicality through the use of high performance steel, including a very important use of case hardened steel, and who continues to improve its products to always offer the highest level of performance with metric bearings under our Altage label. Finally, if they have not been mentioned in this presentation, NTN also produces double row bearings, which are widely used in pumps, as well as 4-row bearings for specific applications such as the steel industry. Please do not hesitate to contact us for these other bearing range solutions. You can find all the technical information relative to the NTN Tapered Roller Bearings firstly on our online sales platform at eshop.ntn-snr.com. There you will find the technical data sheets for the various products in addition to their availability. Also inside 4 catalogues that are available on the NTN Corporation website and NTN SNR. 2 general catalogues, one dedicated to large bearings, another dedicated to our distributors, and a catalogue specific to our metric tapered roller bearings under the Altage label. Thank you for listening to this presentation. I invite you to contact your usual representative at NTN SNR for more information. And if you don't have a regular contact, please feel free to contact us through the form on our website. Coming next month, Peter Vorvis will present you the NTN Online Configurator for a quick and efficient tool to choose your linear motion products.